Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So for today's video I'm going to be making a card using the brand new Uniquely Creative Winter Mini Kit. So let's go ahead and get to it. Alright, so usually when I do these cards for Uniquely Creative I try and do something complicated. I really don't want to today. I really want to do something a little just easy and simple and classic, and that's sort of what I'm thinking. So I'm just starting off with a piece of plain white cardstock, and I'm grabbing one of these. These are from the Uniquely Creative Frames set, and I'm just grabbing a pencil. I'm going to ink this up, but I just want to do just how much I need. I don't want to do more than I need to. So then I'm going to grab Peacock Feathers Distress ink. I'm really into using inks at the moment. I don't know why. And then I'm grabbing out the gorgeous winter stamp set. Oh my goodness. And I'm grabbing this cute little cloud. So my idea here, I'm taking all of my sort of inspiration from two images and then one of the little sentiments here, the rain or shine, I'm here for you. So what I'm doing is just grabbing that peacock the peacock feathers, and I don't need these to be a perfectly wonderful hooray I'm awesome stamp because it's all going to be in the background, but I'm just going to make myself up a bit of pattern paper. So I'm just going to stamp these down all over where I knew my background was. And just sort of not too sort of put together or too lined up or anything. I need them, or I want them to be a little bit more sporadic, if that's the right word. Just going to come in over this side, just put a little bit more. And just sort of put them in. I don't mind that that's not perfect, that's fine. Just sort of work my way down the page a little bit. Definitely doing a very bad job on the edges, but it should be okay. And then I'm just going to put the peacock feathers and the stamping away just for a minute because we'll come back to it. But I just want to then start working on my little images. So I have my blending card. So this is just Express It blending card. I'm going to show you the colouring today because we're only going to do two little images, so it's not going to be a particularly difficult colouring. So I'm grabbing this cute little mole, oh he's adorable, with his little coat on, and then I'm also grabbing the rainbow, not the rainbow, the umbrella rainbow, goodness me. So I'll just pick those two up, and I'm just going to stamp those with my Hero Arts Intense Black ink. This is Copic friendly, it's not going to cause any bleeding, I've never had any trouble with it. So it's just my favourite for using in these. And I'm also grabbing my little pressure tool. I bought this off eBay, I will link it down below. And I have noticed a very large improve in how many times I have to stamp things. I still like to stamp them twice, but I have noticed that I get a much better impression these days. Oh, bugger. Every time. That was my fault. I moved my paper. It's alright. You can always use the other side. I'm just going to spin it around. So I'm just going to stamp these out again. And this time I'll make sure that it's right in the corner. And then we're going to play with some Copics. So I just want to see, yeah, BG09, I thought it was. I just wanted to see which colours I thought matched this the nicest. So I'm grabbing BG09 and BG07, which is blue, green and petroleum blue. And then I think I'm going to bring in, if you have a look at the colours, when I say colours of the kit, if you look at the included cut aparts, yellow and purple are the two real colours in here. I love the yellow, so I really want to use that. So I'm going to grab Y9 19, which is that sort of darker yellow. And then Y17, which is golden yellow. Whoops. So I think that'll finish these off. Okay, so we're going to colour in the little jacket of our little guy. So first thing I do is look for the shadows. So I look for anywhere where I think there'd be darkness, and that's where I go first. So I put the dark down first. There are lots of different tutorials or ideas of should it be darkest colour down first, should it be lightest colour down first. I find it's whatever you're happy with. If you like going darker colour first, which is what I like, go darker colour first. If you like lighter colour first, then do that. But it's whatever you find works for you. So once I've got that down, that was the BG09. This is the BG07, which looks a lot bluer than it actually is. When you put it down, it's not as blue as this. It's definitely more teal. Apologies. And I'm just going to blend this out. Now, the hardest thing with this image is that you kind of have to go around these little leaves. So I'm just working my way around them slowly while I'm trying to blend this out. So it's sort of like I'm doing two things at once. But I love that colour. Oh, it's so pretty. So there's the coat, and I did his boots. I'm also going to do the little bit of the umbrella that I want. So I'm just coming back in with that BG09 and just putting that at the top. So just a little bit, just for a little bit of contrast, and then I missed. That's okay. So I'm going to show you in a second a way to fix that. So I've just gone a little bit outside the lines. I feel like even the best people do that. They go outside the line. I'm not the best. I'm going to go weekend warrior. But I do make errors, so I'll show you a little trick. So this is where stuff like the jelly roll pens, these are the Sakura ones. The point, or the 10 one, I think it's 1.0, is just an awesome wide one. So I'm just going over it, and when I come in a minute, with the yellow, it'll go straight over the top. I also missed a little bit on his boot, so that'll be fine. Alright, while we are waiting for that to sort of, I just want it to dry a little bit because the yellow is such a different colour. It's such a different colour. I just want to let that yellow, let the blue dry so I don't accidentally get any of the yellow. But we're going to colour in the mole. We'll colour him in. I think he's a mole. I think you could colour him like a badger and you could probably get away with that as well. Either way, he's going to be grey. And I'm just trying to work out if I'm going to do warm greys or neutral greys. I'm going to do neutrals. I find the difference in the greys is the difference between, it's the temperature. But a warm grey sometimes feels really good for a bunny, something that you would pick up and cuddle. I don't think I'd pick up and cuddle a mole. I just don't. So I'm going to go something a little dark, a little cooler. This is where I love the neutrals because it's not too cool. It doesn't feel like something metal. It's just a lovely little bit. Go. For a minute there I thought I ruined my pen, but I didn't. It was just where I had a little bit of the jelly roll. So I'm doing exactly what I did before. I'm finding the shadows. I'm finding where I want this to be darker, and then I can blend it out. So that was N7. No, sorry, N5. This is N7. N3. Oh my goodness. And I'm just blending that together. So he'll have his little arm up. And if you have trouble, sometimes, especially between the sort of the 3s and the 5s, I don't have the even numbers, I only have the odds at the moment. That could change. If you do have any trouble sort of getting between the two, just do a little bit of tip to tip. Grab the darker one on the lighter marker, right on the tip, and then just drag it out. It's a very small area, but it'll dry back in a second and it'll be fine. That's sort of another little tip for Copics. Again, not an expert, making that clear. Unless you know you want a really saturated colour, like I knew I wanted the coat to be saturated. Unless you know you want it to be saturated, don't sort of freak out if it doesn't blend together really beautifully as soon as you finish. Sometimes the inks need a little bit of time to settle. And I find that especially with the greys and the reds, sometimes they just need a little bit of time to work themselves out. So don't start again or freak out or throw your hands up in the air if you sort of get a really strong line. Sometimes it just needs a minute to sit and settle, and then it'll suddenly look less harsh. I hope that made sense. I really shouldn't talk while I'm colouring. Now I'm just going to let that sit. Like I said, sometimes it just needs a minute to work itself out before I go back in and start blending that a little bit more, because he might just need a little bit more blending, but for now I'm just going to leave that. I'm also just going to do the handle with this N3. Don't think I need, maybe just a little. I wasn't going to put any dark on here, but maybe just a little bit. And then while we're waiting for the grey to dry back, we'll put the yellow in. So I'm going to do the yellow for the umbrella, and I'm debating the leaves. I haven't quite worked out if that's what I want to do yet. I am going to go yellows, but I'm just going to stay with the 19. It's just the more yellow of the two. I don't think these need shading. I think they're okay just as they are. But this would also look really pretty in a green, like a really bright green. I'll show you something in a sec. I was playing with some colours before I started, and I thought I'd do like greens and blues instead. I just decided I like the yellow more, but that's another option if you wanted to. I'm just going to grab in N0, which is the lightest of my grey, my neutral greys, and I'm just adding in just a little shadow on his head, because I just don't want him to be, I want that to be white, but I don't want it to be pale white. And then I'm grabbing my R11, which is my favourite colour for cheeks, and just giving him a little rosy cheek there. And then for his nose, I want that to be dark, but I don't want it to be like completely black, so I'm just putting that in with N7, which is like the next step up. And then I'm going to do the little heart just in a little bit of N3, and I'm not going to put any N5 with it. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Alright, there's my cute little moles. So then I just need to cut them out. I'm just going to do that with the matching dies. And go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. I can still see that little dot of green where I've come out. I think that's okay. I think I'll be alright. Whether I can cover it up or just ignore it, but there's nothing wrong with a little bit of imperfection, I don't think. And I'm also just going to grab my score tool. I'm just giving it a quick rub over. I find the Uniquely Creative dies give me a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? A bit of a raise up on the edge, and that's fine. Sometimes it's actually really cool. Just for today, I just want it to be not there. Okay, now we're going to work on our base. So that's really the only two little images we're going to use. Plus, of course, we've got the clouds here. So I'm going to grab my trimmer. I'm just trimming that out so I've got my background. But I just want to do one more quick thing. So I'm going to start cutting up. We're going to cut up my frame before we do this. So I'm grabbing my 12 by 12 cutter because I'm going to use a big piece of cardstock. So this is some of the Uniquely Creative cardstock. I think this one is Ocean. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm just going to grab, I just want enough to be able to cut out this frame. So I think that's enough. I'm just going to do this side as well. Probably cut a little bit too much, but that's okay. I'm trying to decide if I want this to have a bit of height to it, so I may cut out a second one, but we'll see how we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out using the frame that we had. I do love how thick this cardstock is. It sometimes feels like it needs a little bit, oh that's so cute. It feels like it needs a little bit of height, but this cardstock's actually really lovely because it is a little higher, so it gives you, or a little bit thicker, so it does give you a really... Just trying to decide if I want to put my stitch rectangle around it or if I want it to sort of stay the way it is. I think I want to stitch it. I always want to stitch it. I'm so boring. So boring. So because I've cut this to almost the same size, I need to be really careful when I put this down. So I'm just lining it up. I'm just trying to decide where I want it, like if I want it on the edges or if I want it in the middle. I think before I do that I need to cut out my sentiment. So I'm grabbing the Cut Apart Essentials number 5 die and we'll just line this up. It's so easy to do and it gives you such lovely results. And I just try to keep it off the colour. Sometimes a washi tape can pull up the colour on a cut apart, so I'm just making sure that it's in the right spot. So I'm grabbing the Rain or Shine on here for you. I was really excited then. I thought they were all going to stay in. Oh, I love that. It just sits in the exact right spot. So we've got all of the other ones here as well. They'll go in my sentiment strip pile. I have a rather large one. Okay, so you've got Rain or Shine on here for you. This guy will go up on a bit of foam tape, as will the umbrella. So I do need to cut out another one of these frames, I think. I think it needs a bit of height. Now you can easily put this, do I want to do it out of it? No, I'm not going to waste a perfectly good piece of that cardstock. So I'm going to put it up on some just plain white cardstock. I'm going to cut out 2 of these, I think. 2 might give me the height I'm looking for. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that and stick them together, and I'll be right back. So I just put that down underneath my die cut platform just for a minute, just to, what's what I'm looking for? Make sure it's all stuck together. I stuck it down with liquid glue because I felt like, oh, I know that gives me a better finish because it's just a bit of weight there. I'm really scared to put a bit of ink on here. I know I want to, I'm scared. No, I'm not going to, because I actually really like it the way it is. And I feel like I'm going to ruin it by putting any more down. So I'm just going to go with this. So it's going to sit there like that. I'm going to grab a little bit of a really thin foam tape, because this will sit underneath the sentiment and sits it up at about the same level. I don't know why I'm happier to put foam tape behind the sentiment strip than I am to put it behind the frame. I think it's just because the sentiment strip's actually easier to put together, whereas putting foam behind that frame would have been really difficult. Okay, and I've just realised something because I'm silly. So I'm just going to pull that foam tape off. I may still be able to rescue it, but I don't want to use it now anyway. I've decided I want to do something different. I'm grabbing these foam strips. So these ones are from Uniquely Creative, and I just want to put, so I need to just grab how wide this is. I just decided I wanted it up a little bit higher, really. And this needs to sit in the middle because I've got to have enough room for it to sit on the edge here. So if I'm a little bit wide, which I am, I just need to trim off a little bit on the edges. Okay, so I'm going to put this down first. So a little bit of glue all around the outside. This is where having one of these fine tip applicators is so good. Making sure there's nothing on there that I don't want on there. This really does have some strength there now, so which is really lovely. Means that when you put it down like this, it does have some stability. Okay, and then we've got our Rain or Shine, I'm Here For You, which is just the perfect little amount there. And then I'm going to put this guy up on a bit of foam as well. So I'm just going to grab, now that they're out, I might as well just grab my little squares here. I do always have some teeny tiny little ones ready to go. The thing I love about when you've got foam squares on there is then you can put him down and work out where exactly you want them to sit. Can't really do that before it's got the foam square on it. So it's a nice little, once it's on there, I like leaving the backing paper on it just for a minute while I work that out. Now for the very, very, very skinny little umbrella, I'm grabbing the leftover bit from that bit of foam that we used before. And I'm just cutting it straight down the middle. It is extremely thin now, but it will sit behind this really beautifully. So I know that's really simple, but oh, I just love it. I just love that. It's just so cute. That little pop of yellow is just adorable. Okay, so before I stick that down, I've just realised it. I haven't got my white highlights. And they're going to be a little harder to do because I do have him up on the foam tape. So I'm just going to do the best I can. That line in the end actually isn't all that noticeable, where we had that really dark line, and actually I really like it because it brings the shadow in, so I'm quite happy to leave it there. I love that way too much. It's so cute. And then just to finish it off, I'm grabbing some of these. These are the silver bling embellishments. These have sticker already on behind them, so I don't need to use any glue. I'm just going to put just a couple of them around, just the really small ones. I don't want too many, and I may still take these off. I'm just deciding still. No, I do like them. Finding where I want them. Just sort of trying to make them look a little bit like raindrops. That's sort of my thought process here. Yes, just like that. And I'm going to stop right there. The last thing I'm going to do is just put my card base together. This is just a bit of A5 cardstock. Just folding it in half. And then this is going to sit straight on the top. Just like that. Nothing on it, nothing fancy, nothing making it too complicated. Just really, really easy, simple card base. I feel like it's got enough happening everywhere else that you don't really need a fancy card base or a fancy colour or anything behind it. Almost have our card base. Just do one more thing. It's just a little bit long on the bottom, which I find they usually are. Go. And there we have our gorgeous little rainy day card. I just love it. I love the winterness of this kit. I do love that it can also do a couple of other little things, and I'm really excited for you to see some of the other cards that I have made using this kit. The thing I want to also point out here is this would make a absolutely gorgeous little shaker. Only reason I didn't was because I did a shaker with one of my other cards, so I didn't want to do two, and I did want this one to be a little bit more simple. I know it didn't end up being simple. It took me a while, but I love that. It's very cute. It's very cute, and I love the little mole there with his umbrella. Oh. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a big old thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. There's lots more uniquely creative cards from me all over my channel. Plus you can also check out the Uniquely Creative blog that I will put down below, where there will be other ones of my projects, but then other amazing projects by the design team as well. So I encourage you to go and check that out. This kit is now available. Go and grab it. It's great value. You get so much in it. So make sure you check it out. I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!